There's something. There's always something.
Hello.
Jesus. Gosh. I don't know. Every week, everybody, every week, I tried. Okay. There was a slight malfunction with my microphone there. But, you know, it was professional to start with, wasn't it? You were there, everybody. You just, oh.
That means it's going to be a good show.
just know the effort is there, okay, everybody. I put the effort in, but let's try again.
Malfunctions at -1 minute.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we? Is it not 9 o'clock for you guys yet?
Oh, it's straight up now.
Yeah.
Okay. God damn. Anyway, yes, everybody, and welcome to High on Homegrown, the cannabis podcast from PercysGrowRoom.com. I am Mackie from the UK, and joining us this week we have Monkey Doo.
Hey guys, Monkey down here in the Southeast US, enjoying a nice cool weekend. Hope everyone has something nice to smoke on today.
We also have Marge.
That's right. Coming from Central Canada, always bringing the professionalism, and host of Bite Me the Show about edibles, and a contributor now to Fat Nugs magazine. Check it out.
Oh, nice. That should be in the news. We'll
I just
try
made
and,
it news.
yeah, we'll try and get that into the news. That'll be interesting to hear more. That's cool. And joining us for a special guest this week for the news and for the grow guides, we have Marco. What's up, Marco?
What's up, family? Coming to you guys from VA. Enjoying life, man, on this great Sunday. Thank you for having me.
Nice. Yeah, my first time on the panel. It's good to have you here. Thanks for coming along, man.
Yeah, man. It should be good. I always enjoy hanging out with you guys.
Yes, it will be fun for sure. Because
Yes,
we got some cannabis news to cover. I think we have 6 stories to cover today, so plenty of news to be covering. And of course, the big news that everybody should have heard by now. But if not, we have some shocking news from the cannabis community coming up very soon. For the grow guide section, we're talking about how to grow cannabis in raised beds. This is indoors or outdoors, and Marco is pretty much an expert on that. He won't say he's an expert, so we'll say it for him. He is an expert on this shit, man. We've had him on this show for an interview before where he covers a lot of this as well with his specific grow methods, so there's loads to learn over there as well. But it's going to be an awesome grow guides episode, so stay tuned for that later on as well. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't done that already, and subscribe if you're new, and then you have 5 minutes before you can chat in the chat with us, so make sure you hit that subscribe. Nice. So what are we smoking on? What you got, Marge? You got something nice?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of Scott's Pilgrim, and I'm puffing on that a little bit. Taking it easy because I'm going to a staff party after this tonight, so it's gonna be a long night.
You're going out to see people?
Yeah, I gotta be among the plebes. But you know,
Party. That
gotta
just sounds like
show up.
official business and stuff. Staff
You know,
party.
Is it like staff Christmas party, one of those?
Well, my daughter owns a restaurant, and it's her staff party because occasionally when I have to, I step in as a line cook, very
Okay.
occasionally lately, but you know, I'm kind of like an honorary member of the staff.
Oh my gosh. Did she have to tell you every time you go to work for it, like, don't do it, Mom. Don't do it.
Actually, no, because fun fact, she calls me by my first name, so.
All right, okay.
And it's not weird. I don't know. It sounds, a lot of people are like, that's kind of weird. I'm like, it's not really though.
You got a
some
cool
people do
first
that.
name, though. Marge.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Well, you got Monkey. What are you smoking on today?
I've got some Amy Aces, courtesy of the American one, sent me the
Nice.
beans for those. And so, yeah, it's kicking my butt right now. This is a pretty strong one. So I'll take it easy at first on this one.
And what award-winning cannabis is Marco partaking in today? What you got, bro?
Yes.
No, nothing award-winning today, my friend. I have miracle fruit. I've been selecting through some seeds, and I'm loving this pheno number 1. I'm looking for fruit, but this one turned out gassy, and it's like, okay, I'll take it.
Nice.
Not bad.
I'm on the Aunt Ginny's Elixir. I am CBD THC 1-to-1. Yeah, because I'm still overcoming what appears to be everybody. And get your bowls and your
Oh,
smokes
God,
ready.
here we go. Everybody get ready.
It appears that I have had COVID.
Oh, geez.
Everybody.
Turn the vape back on. Here we go.
Gosh, everybody's got to
Gotta get all
smoke.
medicinal with it now.
That's
Yeah,
it. I won't
I'm
be able
like-
to do my news now.
Completely lost the sense of smell and taste over the last few days, man. It's bad. It's bad.
Oh, God.
So you really don't appreciate that shit until it's gone, and you know you're eating some of your favorite food, and you're like, "There's no flavor." The texture's good, but there's just no
Right.
flavor. damn.
What's texture without taste, though?
Exactly, you know, it's like
Mm.
might as well be eating glue or something, you know. It's
Salt,
just
stir anything, yeah.
damn. It's these kind of times where we want to eat as much kale as possible, you know.
Get your greens in while you can't taste it. That's right.
That's right. Eat the shit you don't usually eat. You know,
Right.
go and eat some oysters or something, you know. Oh God.
Oh, I like that
No,
though. Now, wait a minute. Come on.
I've never tried
There's
it,
a
man.
lot
I
to
just
that,
imagine
though.
it. Sorry, Marco.
If you can't taste it, you don't want the texture in that one. I think I would.
Yeah,
skip
that's
that.
what I mean. It'd be like
100%.
snuts,
Yeah.
right?
Point.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
a good
gross.
point.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That'd be rough.
Dank Dixie says snap with the Rona, Mackie. So Dank Dixie also has the Rona. Oh
Oh.
dear. Oh dear.
Damn.
Look at that monkey's strawberry cough hash from Billy. Is what you've
Ooh.
got. So
Oh,
that's
nice. Nice, man. Hope you're all smoking on something nice out there in the chat. Yeah. So, yeah, everybody's smoking on some nice stuff by the sound of it. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. I don't know where my joint is. I think I might have left it in the other room, so now I'm going to have to leave it all the way out there. That's not cool, is it? Oh, gosh. Gosh. I'll go and collect it when the theme music's on, you know?
Go run.
Time to roll another one.
But yeah, man, I think that's everything for us to cover so far. And just so everybody knows, Bubble Hawk as well. Don't worry about Bubble Hawk. He'll be back in a few weeks. He's just doing his thing. So no panic. But yeah,
He's
yes.
emu wrestling this weekend, I think, is what I've been told. Yeah. So.
And issuing doses of antibiotics to koalas. Right. Yes. I think that's everything. Are we good to go? Are we good to move on to the news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it now. So we have 6 news articles to cover, and we are not going to leave you in any suspense whatsoever. The biggest news which we have heard this week is, Monkey, this is your news story. You want to take it away, man?
Oh, I don't really know if this is the biggest news story of the week or the century, but it is kind of interesting for stoners. So let's get right into it. Is Snoop Dogg quitting smoke? A look at the rapper's weed history. In a surprising turn of events, the world-renowned rapper and cannabis icon Snoop Dogg shared this week his decision to quit smoking. Okay, right there. We can just stop the article. Everybody go home. We're done.
Yeah, that's about it, really. Who out there didn't know? Is anybody out there in the chat who didn't know that? Because it's been all over the social networks for the last week, right?
It kind of has. I kind of, when I first saw it, I blew it off as kind of clickbait. But anyway, let's keep on going. See if it is clickbait. You know, the announcement delivered via his social accounts to his more than 100 million followers makes a significant shift for the artist whose persona has been synonymous with cannabis consumption. After much consideration and conversation with my family, I've decided to give up smoke. Calvin Boudakis, aka Snoop Dogg, stated requesting privacy during this period. So we're not really going to know why he did this for a while. So
you've seen the picture he's sharing as well. It looks like a friend died or something. You know.
I know.
Please respect my privacy at this time.
Mary Jane is dying. I just have to let her go. I mean, we're even.
The crazy thing is, like, please respect my privacy. Well, if you didn't tell us, we wouldn't know shit.
Yeah, it's like that South Park episode, isn't it? I demand my privacy. I want my privacy
tour. Hey, what are you doing right there? We want our privacy.
Right.
Shit.
Okay.
Leave me alone.
The announcement delivered via his social accounts to his more than 100 million followers marks a significant shift for the artist whose persona. I think I already read all that, didn't I? Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Someone has not given him smoke. Please continue.
Maybe we should get Snoop to read this. God.
It's just damn Amy Aces. I tell you, it's kicking my ass right now, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Okay, this decision comes as a shock to many, considering Snoop's very public, long-standing relationship with weed. In fact, many are still wondering if this is real or just a joke, while others question if this announcement is related to a health issue. What's more, is Snoop quitting all forms of weed, including edibles, vaping, or just smoking? That's pretty much what we had talked about before the show. You know, that's people saying, what about edibles? What about everything else? We don't really know yet. Known for his open advocacy and personal use of cannabis, Snoop Dogg has been a prominent figure in normalizing and promoting weed culture. His ventures in the cannabis industry include the creation of pot-focused media company, Mary Jane, and several lines of cannabis-related products. Additionally, he has invested in Casa Verde Capital, a venture capital firm focusing on cannabis startups. Amongst many notable stories about Snoop Dogg's relationship with cannabis, a few stand out. In 2013, he reportedly smoked cannabis while in the White House during a visit for a tribute to pay tribute to a jazz pianist, Herbie Hancock. He's also revealed having weed connections in almost every country, as shared on a humorous exchange on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Now, I saw that on Kimmel Live. Some of them, I think Snoop was just kind of laughing about. And there were a couple. Can y'all guess a couple countries that he said he didn't have a weed connection in? Come on now, it's pretty easy, guys.
Saudi Arabia.
He didn't have one. He didn't have one in Saudi Arabia. Where's another one?
Yes.
North Korea.
North Korea was
Right.
the other one. Yes.
Yes.
The other one.
Do you win prizes?
Yeah, you get his. I guess Snoop's gonna mail you something. Whatever.
You get to smoke with Snoop.
You
Oh,
get
that's
to
right, Snoop
smoke
never
with Snoop
smoked.
if he ever starts up again.
He's gonna send me what's left of his stash. I don't need this anymore, Mackie. Check this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Snoop Dogg's practice of microwaving his blunts before smoking to enhance the experience through decarboxylation is another aspect, a unique aspect of his approach to cannabis. Past attempts to quit and a public response. This is not the first time Snoop Dogg has publicly declared a break from smoking. Approximately 20 years ago, again on Jimmy Kimmel Live, he announced a similar decision, which he later referenced as later referenced in a retrospective on the show. His 2002 announcement to quit smoking and drinking was attributed to his desire to be a more responsible father. The reaction to Snoop Dogg's recent announcement has been mixed, with some fans expressing disbelief and others speculating it could be part of a marketing strategy for one or several of his many cannabis ventures. The veracity of his decision remains a topic of discussion amongst his followers and the broader public. As is, Snoop Dogg's latest announcement signifies a potential turning point in the rapper's life and career. Known for his deep ties with the plant, both personally and professionally, this decision, if maintained, could mark a significant shift in his public image and future endeavors. So that's the statement, guys. You think it's going to actually happen? Is this for real?
Hopefully it's not health related, but
Yeah.
it could just be he's just gone hard so long. He's like, hey man, I need a break.
Yeah, man, it happens. It happened to me, man. And I wasn't consuming anywhere near as much as Snoop Dogg was, I'm sure.
Right.
I would hope. And it was a lot still. But at some point, you just, like, I've had enough of this. And it must have been difficult for him to come to this point because it's a huge part of his persona. It's it's crazy to think what he's sacrificing by not consuming cannabis and smoking cannabis anymore. He won't be seen as...
Maybe he's holding himself accountable by posting it. If he says if I post it to the public, then I'll be accountable. But if I just try on my own, I may not, make it.
Now, let me look back at the article and reference it. Did the article say permanently, or is he just says taking a break, doesn't it? This week, his decision to quit smoking. It didn't say permanently or for a while. So he just said quit smoking. So Marco, you could be exactly right that he maybe just needs some time to clear out his head.
Has there been a Me Too movement behind this? I don't think so.
He's still reasonably young, really. I mean, he's 52, and but he's been smoking so fucking much, and he's just getting old. Right. Maybe it's time for him to not smoke so much, and for him to be able to get in control of his cannabis habit. Maybe it's just fucking excessive now. So he needs to get back in control of it again. Maybe just smoke on the weekends sometimes. But he has done this before, and he is still smoking now. Otherwise, would be quitting. But, if he wants to quit and he sees that as the best thing for him, then all the best of luck to him, man. I hope he does very well.
Hey, Snoop, head on over to Percys and start up a thread. We'll give you all the support you want, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get over there, Snoop. But interesting. He's just always been a big cannabis advocate. He's known for smoking. It's a big part of his character. So to see what kind of character he'd be without the smoke would be an interesting one, right? You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I wonder what he actually does smoke. Is he like really like focused on, hey man, I don't want no salt grown bullshit, or you know, like, because if you smoke a lot and you smoke a lot of bullshit, you know, that can lead to
Yeah.
health problems too.
But Shoddy Fusion said there in the chat, he microwaves his blunts. No wonder he's quitting. You know.
We used to do that in the 90s, man, because back then nobody could roll a proper blunt. It'd be a wet, sloppy mess, and they end up putting it in the microwave to tighten it up.
Oh, you're talking about the ones everybody used to lick and run through their mouth and then hand you the thing like, here, like this. Like, oh, hell no.
Oh gosh,
Put
no.
that in the microwave, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, man. But is this the end for Snoop Dogg and cannabis? I don't think so. I think he'd still consume cannabis. It's worth so much money to him. You know, it's a huge part of his brand, selling Snoop Dogg G pens, and there will be an edibles line coming out, no doubt. It's worth a
Gotta
fortune to
be.
him. You know, it's a big
Yeah.
part of
Well, I
his.
think,
It's a big part of his brand.
Snoop is still someone who can quit smoking for whatever health reasons or whatever the reasons might be and still be an advocate as well.
Yeah.
And also, Snoop, if
True.
you're really wanting to explore edibles, hit me up. I can help out.
There you
Good
go.
point.
Look, you can have a personal edibles consultant right
That's
there.
right. Yeah.
Because it didn't say stop cannabis, it just said
Right.
stop smoke.
Maybe he was talking about crack. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay off the rock for a while.
We were
Right.
assuming it was cannabis, but
We hope.
Well, I mean, everybody keeps talking about Snoop's blunt roller. So, I mean, if he's smoking nothing but blunts, then there's a tobacco component involved here too. So, I mean,
right.
Yeah.
And he's got to
knows
think
what-
about that as well. He's got a professional joint roller. He's putting people out of the job, man. You know?
Yeah, man.
I was gonna have to give the guy a new title now, you know.
Damn, he moved on, man. He outgrew his position, I guess. He smoked Snoop out of his job.
That's it, man. You rolled your way out of a job. That's the problem. See?
Yeah, maybe as well with the legislation, it doesn't have the same taboo feeling that it used to have. I suppose I haven't experienced it yet because I'm in the UK and we're still fucked. But you know, when you don't have that taboo about it anymore, when you're in Amsterdam, you know, Barcelona and these places, you know, it's maybe it just doesn't feel the same after a while. Maybe it doesn't feel cool anymore.
So no.
Interesting, man. But you know,
Yeah.
good luck to him. If he wants to quit, then that's a good thing to do. But it's always good to come back to cannabis. I quit for a long time, and now I'm smoking like a joint a day, which is cool. It's cool. It's not excessive. You know, it's as much as I like to, which is good.
I actually went through periods when I was in life where I was like, I'm super focused on career, you know, and just kind of that thing. And I would just say, I'm going to keep just enough cannabis in my system so it's always in it. So I might would smoke very light, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
days or weeks between, you know, and then, you know, totally different now, but, you know, just I guess different periods of your life, man. You kind of approach it in different ways.
Exactly. And that's
Well, I
it.
mean, we do that with food and diet and everything else, alcohol and things. Why can't we do that with cannabis? Just you know,
Right.
use it as we see fit for our life today.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Not just blaze blunts constantly, you know.
Well, that,
Exactly.
to each their own, you know.
Yeah.
John
indeed.
Fagan in the chat said Jada told Snoop to quit, and I think that sounds about right.
God damn. God damn. He's that Will Smith's husband, right?
Yeah, yeah. That whole thing is so surreal, but yeah.
Man, yeah, we won't even go on that tangent. God damn,
No,
that woman.
that's a whole show.
You know, I've seen
That
some
whole thing.
epic memes. You know, it's like Jada Smith, a bullet that Tupac actually dodged.
No.
It's savagery,
He's
savagery.
wild, yeah.
Yeah, man. But goddamn, yeah, that woman's crazy. Gosh, what a toxic relationship. Goddamn.
I know.
Anyway, what other news do we have? We've got some news coming out of the UK. Let's hit that one. Let's hit this one. The piss take article from the
Oh
UK.
yes.
Well, I don't even need to say that. It's like any article that we pull out of the UK seems to be a huge piss take nowadays. So let's go through this one. I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. And smoke, everybody, because this is gonna frustrate you and make you a little bit angry. Lincolnshire residents urged to report neighbours' cannabis fumes.
Ooh.
Everybody see it? Fumes. Okay.
They call our quality smoke fumes.
Yeah. All right. And
Right.
this is
Somebody
from
got
the BBC.
Alright.
So it's and it's by David McKenna. No relation to any Terence McKenna because he's not cool. David McKenna isn't. Fuck you. Sorry. Let me get on with the article. Get all slanderous against the people and shit.
Is Lincolnshire, Mackie, so give me a reference of size. How big is Lincolnshire?
I don't really know, mate. It's not massive. It's not a
Little.
huge city in the UK, but
Okay,
it's a
I got you.
medium-sized one. Maybe 500,000 people, but that would be a random guess, man. Not massive.
Okay.
Not massive.
Any idea
Medium
what part of the
size.
country it's in?
It's in England, but I'm not sure whereabouts in England.
Well, we all knew
It's
that.
in the country somewhere.
No,
yeah.
because it could be in the UK, and that consists of 4 different countries: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern
Right.
Ireland. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The area heavy in Karens in that area.
oh,
Lots of Karens.
no doubt, mate. Look at the name Lincolnshire. You know, they're all going to be so posh out there. Can't park your vehicle outside of my house. Fucking one of those, you know. They complain about the way you cut hedges in your garden and things like that. I assume. If anybody's from Lincolnshire and I'm incorrect, please do let me know. But let's have a quick look at them. No, I won't look. I was going to quickly Google it to see how many people live there, but I'm sure somebody. But Billy, you can do that in the chat, right? How many people live in Lincolnshire? But people being plagued, everybody plagued by nuisance smells caused by neighbours smoking illicit substances such as cannabis are being urged to report it. Sorry, Monkey.
I said 99,000 people. It's just
is
just
that all?
west of Sheffield. Just west of Sheffield.
How many
Sheffield.
people are
Sheffield.
smoking illicit substances that people feel they're being plagued by it?
Not enough, obviously. You know, but, you need to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, they need to smoke something.
So illicit substances such as cannabis as well. It's not just cannabis, but you know, it's like, what does crack smell like? I don't know, man.
What about the illicit substances like tobacco?
Right.
Yeah,
Does it have to be illicit or just what? I don't know.
and is it illicit if it's medically prescribed legally through the many bribe systems that the government have in place? This article, this is ridiculous. This article.
Well,
by the
one
way.
smells more illicit than the other. Yeah.
He says here, a new scheme to deal with complaints about unpleasant and persistent odours has been launched by Lincolnshire County Council. The initiative was aimed at tackling an issue that can ruin the quality of life of those affected, officials said.
God damn.
Yeah, you know,
Ruin the quality of life.
ruin
Wow.
the quality of life.
What happened? What happened over there?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the UK. I know you don't hear these news articles from the UK very often, Marco, but this is
Right.
what
No,
it's
it's
like,
like-
mate. It's fucked.
It's like what happened to the Jones family? Oh man,
Oh, mate.
their quality of life was ruined.
Yeah.
That's right. The fumes ruins your life.
You know, little Terrence, he's out there in the gutter on crack now. You know, and all he had one whiff of cannabis from the neighbours.
And it all went
Fumes
downhill.
turned him, that's it.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. The scheme was the first of its kind in the country, the authority claimed. Lincolnshire County Council said environmental laws allowed local authorities to investigate nuisance odours related to industrial, trade, or business premises. So they're not just talking about cannabis here by the sound of things. This is like any offensive smell whatsoever, which is crazy, man. It's like, what? Like people having fires, that stinks. Can they do something about
Right.
that now? You know, people
Well,
smoking
I like
cigarettes.
the part
I hate
about
that.
industrial, like for warehouse, factories. I like that part.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Things shouldn't be stinking for sure, but you know, when you're living in your house, you're supposed to be able to do what you like.
Exactly.
Anyway, he says, however, these powers did not extend to residential properties, it said. So that's strange how they want people to report their neighbours for their cannabis fumes, but it doesn't extend to residential properties. Anyway, the next title here says, keep a record. Zoe Walters from the Safer Lincolnshire Partnership said persistent, unpleasant smells can have a negative impact on residents' day-to-day lives. And for some, a positive impact. You know, the introduction of what was called the Lincolnshire Noxious Odours procedure would encourage people to report nuisance odours from a residential property to their district council or housing association, Miss Walters said. Those affected will need to keep a record of what they can smell, for how long, and what time of the day. District council or housing associations will then use this information to determine if there are any patterns to the problem, and then seek to find the cause and resolve the issue, she said. Assistance and support would also be offered to the perpetrators. That's what you are now, everybody, a perp.
Oh my
before
God,
you know,
yes.
before more formal proceedings were taken to protect those in a vulnerable position, according to Lincolnshire County Council. I think that's about it. It's not a very long article, so yeah, that's all of it.
Right.
The article sounds a little clickbaity to me because I don't know, when you're talking about like smells from factories and stuff, that's a lot different than somebody whiffing their neighbor smoking a joint.
Mm-hmm.
But it's from the BBC as well, so it needs a massive pinch of salt. Massive.
Right. Right. It
It's
still
just
seems ridiculous though. Like noxious odors procedure.
yeah, and I don't think they mentioned anything about cannabis in here. Just illicit smells, that smells they don't like.
Keep a record if it smells.
Yeah.
You know what would be like, I live in a place where we're pretty close to rural areas and I would love to report it when the farmers spread their like cow shit.
Yes.
Sadly, there's nothing I can do. So
Yeah, it's
Well, the
bullshit.
other thing is the first line, it sounds like the reporter is like making that up on his own. People being plagued by nuisance smells caused by neighbors smoking listed substances are being urged to report it. Like that's the
Yeah,
only
are they?
place that says anything about cannabis, right?
yeah. Are
Yeah.
they really being urged to report it, or is this just a good headline, sub
Or is it
headline?
just for like report a factory if you smell chemicals or report,
Yeah, and by the
Right.
way, weed stinks too, so yeah,
who's
I don't
this
know.
David McKenna guy?
It is written kind of strangely there.
Yeah.
He's working
Not your
for the
best friend.
BBC. He's trying to climb his way up the ladder, you know.
Right.
Exactly.
He's trying to
You
put
should-
Lincolnshire on the map.
It's just the wording of some of this, you know, the nuisance smells. You know, there's things that I don't like the smell of that I have to put up with. You know, I don't enjoy the smell of cigarettes, and when my neighbors smoke, you know, especially summertime when they go outside and smoke, that smoke blows into my living room, and I have to sit there smelling that fucking shit. I don't like that shit,
Right.
but there's nothing I can do about it. You know,
Well, that's
this,
truly noxious. That's horrible.
yeah, it's this,
Mhm.
it's fucking horror, and it does ruin my quality of life.
It sure does.
Yes,
You
I
better keep
believe
a
that.
record, Mackie. Keep a record.
Keep a record. That's right. You know, I couldn't recognize the smell of this one. Could possibly be meth. You know, just keep a list. It's just ridiculous how they're trying to turn people against each other. You know, because as far as they know, the people who are if they smell cannabis smoke regularly, it could easily be somebody who is a legal medical cannabis patient who is prescribed it by a doctor legally, but they're still gonna have trouble with the old bill because somebody can't mind their own fucking business. You know. Just remember, everybody. Stitches get snitches. Just no. What are they saying?
Stitches get snitches. How's that?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what I meant, and I'm sticking to it. They can't accuse us of inciting violence if you say it wrong. Surely.
That's it. Exactly. There you go.
Shit, man. Right. Let's do another news article then. Marco, you want to cover one of yours, considering you're here?
Well, you know, mine isn't as fun as yours was. Now that I
We
know
like
the
to take them on a
concept.
roller coaster ride to happy, sad, you know.
Exactly. So yeah, the one I found was, I just thought it was interesting, you know, being as biased as I am towards living soil, you know, that's what I promote, that's what I do. I see High Times had an article, and it's you got it pulled up or whatever, you good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it, man. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, all right. Living soil THCA flower, new way to get high. The hemp doctor
A
has
new
you
way?
covered. Yeah, new way to get high.
Damn.
So
I
I'm
gotta
like,
try
oh,
that.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never
Flower.
thought about smoking the flowers before.
exactly. So this is you know, because I'm always talking about the old, you know, shit and how that's the best way, and now we can still do that. But here they seem to think of that as being new. So the article, I guess we won't read it all, but I'll read parts of it.
Cool.
Just to kind of let it get going. In the vast, ever-expanding universe of cannabis, innovation is the beating heart that keeps our community vibrant and thriving. It's where ancient earth-friendly practices merge with cutting-edge techniques to create something truly exceptional. Today, we're divided into the world of living soil, THCA flower cultivation, a phenomenon that embraces the essence of organic farming while heralding a new wave of cannabis consumption. Okay, a new wave of cannabis consumption. Okay.
Hmm.
Buckle up as we explore the incredible fusion of living soil and THCA, a promising, natural, healthier, and uniquely euphoric high that every cannabis enthusiast should experience. Okay, so they're talking more about THCA, which is the part like that you eat. It
Yeah,
kind of
the
goes,
non-decarbed version. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so unveiling the marvel of living soil. Living
They're
soil
making
isn't
a
just,
movie about living soil now. God damn.
yeah, it's like unveiling it. Like,
A
okay, the
marvel, yeah.
marvel of it. Because really, before I even read this, living soil, we're just trying to be like nature, pretty much,
Mhm.
keeping it
Mhm.
simple, nothing really elaborate to it, except for just kind of getting it set up.
Mhm.
Um, but they say living soil isn't just dirt. It is a living, breathing ecosystem where microbes reign supreme. This rich, dynamic environment continually rejuvenates itself, providing an abundant nutrient source for plants. Picture this: a community of microorganisms, including bacteria, fungi, protozoa, nematodes, arthropods, and even earthworms, all working in perfect harmony to break down organic matter and deliver vital nutrients straight to the roots of our beloved cannabis plants. Damn, I'm sold. That sounds like me. You
Yeah,
know?
it sounds like a Disney movie now, not a Marvel movie. Who's Marvel is Disney now,
Yeah,
right?
that's everything living in harmony in there.
Hmm.
All right, that's cool. The thing you don't realize, it is a little bit of a marvel in there too, because all that life, there's a lot of killing and death. So it's kind of balanced, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
All right, so this is High Times again. So this is cool. I like this, man. This is a great little article. They're on it for right now.
So
Why do you
sorry, Marco.
go ahead?
Are they trying to say that the living soil produces a higher THC cannabis? Is this what they're saying?
Yeah, it sounds like they're saying that, as I always, know and feel that you get a higher THC content, better quality. And it seems like in particular they're breaking down this THCA, um, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
So living soil and the green goddess. What's the green goddess? Okay, let's read this one. If nurturing the soil of nurture, if nurturing the soil to nurture plants is the creed of organic farmers, then it's the anthem of cannabis cultivators too. Living soil is a game changer for cannabis cultivation as it turbocharges nutrient uptake and elevates terpene profiles. Yep. These terpenes, the flavor and aroma architects of cannabis, tend to flourish in living soil, delivering a sensory experience like no other. That is 100%. That's like
Mm.
shit that I'm always saying, man. So this one, they're hitting it right on the nose right now. So I'm curious to know what's up with this THCA thing. So let's read a little bit more. Cultivating THCA flower in living soil. Now let's dive into the juicy details of growing THCA flower in living soil. A natural love affair that works in tandem with nature to create a paradise for cannabis plants. Okay, love affair. All right, all kind of little, all kinds of little things in this movie here. Uh,
That's the sex
the
scene, ain't it? He's got to have a sex scene.
right, you
Gosh.
gotta bust it.
Got to get that R
Exactly.
rating or the X rating. That's it. Got to have
Hmm.
it.
Let's see how deep they go. Um, And like we all know, the natural synergy, living soil provides the perfect playground for cannabis plants. The microbial orchestra that breaks down organic matter, serving up essential nutrients on a silver platter. No need for synthetic fertilizers here. It's all about going on natural. And it is, but you got to have the right ingredients in that soil too. It's not just a matter of tossing a bunch of shit in there like a salad. Kind of building that soil properly and then adding the microbiology, and you do have that. And I always say that, man, like terps being such a small piece of the scent and a tiny fraction of what makes up cannabis. I feel like the other end of the plant on the root side is kind of where that comes from.
Mhm.
There's a balance on each end of the plant. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's get on into it. There's a lot here, so I'm gonna try to break it down a little bit more. Do y'all know anything in particular about THCA flower?
But it's just
Is
that's what flower
that
is.
all
Sorry, Marge,
flower?
you got this.
I was gonna say that's just all flower. That's just raw cannabis.
Mhm.
Or raw
That's what I
THC.
thought. So
Yeah.
they're not trying to differentiate THCA to like THC.
Nah, I think they're using it as a buzzword, really. It sounds like
Okay.
it in the article.
Yeah,
All
like
right,
anything
so
that grows THCA.
that's what I thought. Okay, so they're just using it as a buzzword.
Mhm.
Yeah, it seems a little bit Chat GPT-ish, to be honest. This article, there's some
It kinda
there's some
does, man.
trigger
Good point.
words. that was-
Excellent. Good point there.
Could be. I
Because-
noticed it was written by Sponsored. So
Ooh.
That's a good one. Look at the
Right.
author sponsored.
Yeah, this is quite possibly because there's some things he said here. I'm trying to find the specific bit.
I mean, the end of the article talks about the unique high of living soil THCA flower, and I think that's about what we're really after mostly with this whole thing.
Yeah, this bit here. If nurturing the soil to nurture plants is the creed of organic farmers, who fucking speaks like that? Nobody speaks like that.
Exactly.
You know,
It's
and
like
then this
saying
bit
all the
here.
shit we say, but extra words in there.
Yeah,
Then
used to
the
try and
anthem
fluff
of
it out.
cannabis culture.
You know,
Yeah.
now let's dive deep into the juicy details of growing THCA flower in living soil. That's Chat GPT talking, I'm telling you.
I think
You
you're right, man.
sneaky
Come on, High
bastards.
Times.
You can do better than this.
Well, they got rid of all their good writers, they're all on their own right now. So somebody's got to write it. I guess the computer writes itself now.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's
I
websites
did
out
some-
there. Isn't it? Sorry, Marco.
No, I was just gonna say I did like I asked Chat GPT to tell me stuff about living soil and it can do it, but like you said, it's got a kind of weird way to do it.
Chat GPT is awesome, man. I like it, but you can't. It's a tool you can use. You can't have it do your work for you. That's not how
Right.
it works. You know.
You got to know what you're talking about to
Mhm,
to
mhm.
use it properly, right?
Yeah, man. And it's just the birth of it. Really, we're still in the early days, the infancy. Give this shit 5 years, and you wouldn't be able to tell if the article was written by. Well, you might be able to tell because it would be a better article. You know, the
Well,
Chat GPT is taking over, man.
Let's take a look at the second to last paragraph here. Where to buy living soil THCA flower. It says, if you're about to Google living soil THC flower near me, look no further. Consider trusted sources like the Hemp Doctor. So I think there's your sponsor, probably.
Links.
Links
sounds a little
and
SEO optimized.
Yeah,
yeah.
got it right
Oh, here
towards
you
the end as
go.
well. Like, oh, I didn't
Yeah.
add links.
You have to check out their Granddaddy Purple Living Soil THC flower today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay.
So what do you think in the chat, everybody? Is this a Chat GPT article, or was this written by a person who is close to being a cyborg? Let us
See,
know.
I see it right there, sponsored. I gotta do my homework. I didn't do my homework that well. I gotta get a better article next time.
No, I've been nailed before.
This is
It
fine, man.
happens.
Yeah, this is what we do. You know, even if it is Chat GPT, it's still good news.
It's good news because we sit down there and we'll expose High Times saying, look what they did.
Yes.
I know, but at least they're saying the right thing. It's just the way, like all these
Yeah.
people out here that have the real experience that could do you an article or write something for High Times. Come on, guys.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean,
Like,
that's what
put
they
the
say, like
community to work. You know?
enhanced terpenes, pure experience, more potency, a more mindful high, and an individual journey. Yeah, it sounds like everything that everybody who grows living soil definitely saying. That's what everybody says about it. So yeah, there you go.
I ain't listening to no advice from some machine, you know.
Exactly.
I
Well,
love the
my-
headline though, because it's like new way to get high, or is it like the oldest way to get high?
Pretty much, I think it's the oldest way. Yeah, because
Right.
before we even had chemical fertilizers, this stuff was around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good point there,
Yeah, man.
Marge. You know, it's reverting back to the way it's supposed to be. That's what it
Exactly.
is.
Well,
No,
my
I mean-
Divine Pine was over 4% terps, so
Damn.
Good stuff.
4.9, You know, that's all living soil. So
Yeah, man.
What are you gonna
It is
do?
definitely the direction many people are heading in now. You see, it's becoming more and more popular all the time, and it's more sustainable as well. So that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
And I'm finding more and more of it available. Every time we head up to the Pacific Northwest where it's legal in the dispensaries up there, and I'm finding more and more dispensaries carrying a living soil grown,
Nice.
not hydro, but you pay more for it, but I'm finding it more available out there if you ask for it. So
That's good, man. I like that
Yeah.
trend because people know, people are understanding. The masses, they still like don't give a fuck in a way, they don't just give them something.
mhm.
But we got to educate people. The masses got to do better.
I'm just fucking reading this article further, the last paragraph here. This is to finalize this article, everybody. He says,
Okay.
it's not
in
just about
closing.
getting high. It's about elevating your experience to new natural heights. So, dear cannabis connoisseur, gear up for an unforgettable journey. A journey where living soil and THCA unite to redefine the way you perceive and enjoy cannabis. Let's get high the natural way.
I'm in.
Fuck it, that's ChatGPT.
It
My
is,
gosh.
it is.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I'm on that journey right now. Shit. Okay.
The natural way, aren't you? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
High times, if you need any writers, let us know, man. For God's sake.
Right.
We can help you, man.
Yeah,
At
we
least
have
we
a
can
link to
proofread your
ChatGPT.
chat GPT and smooth it out a little bit for you.
Exactly.
So,
That's right. That's right. But yeah, living soil THC flower. Try it out. Smoke some flower. See what you think, everybody.
buy it here.
That's right. Buy it now. Head over to this High Times article and get some of the hemp doctor's stuff. Jesus. Yeah.
Who's the hemp doctor?
I don't even know, man.
Oh.
Like
It's a
the link.
medical.
Don't click it. That's what they want you to do.
I know. He's just selling all kinds of shit over there when you click it. You don't do
That's
it.
it, man. You'll never leave.
It's
Mm.
bad over there.
But we've got some good news coming out of South Africa, Marge. That's your story this week, right?
It is, and I would love to cover this one. It's interesting. So South Africa passes bill to legalize cannabis possession in home grows. The South African National Assembly has passed the Cannabis for Private Purposes Bill 5 years after it was first introduced. The bill, which can only be made into law once signed by the president, will permit adults to use and cultivate cannabis at their home, but will not legalize buying or selling. Sales of cannabis will be strictly illegal, with the Democrat Alliance Member of Parliament, Johnho Engelbrecht, making this
Nice.
comment. Thank you. In the National Assembly, people should bear in mind what this bill is about. It is about cannabis for private use by adults. You are not allowed to buy or sell cannabis because this still remains a criminal activity with severe consequences. If you want to smoke it, you have to grow it, don't buy it.
That's
In a
curious right there, though, Marge.
Isn't
Can you
it?
gift it? Can you gift it? That was what my
It doesn't
question
say
would be.
anything about that, and I don't see why you couldn't. But the
Yeah.
article continues. In 2018, a case was brought to the South African Constitutional Court by Rastafarian Gareth Prince and former Daga Party leader Jeremy Acton, arguing the law forbidding use of cannabis were unconstitutional. The court upheld the argument, and the historical judgment effectively decriminalized the use of cannabis, or Daga, as it's commonly known in South Africa, within the home. The cannabis bill on Tuesday was started shortly after the court ruling in 2018, but it has been delayed by bureaucracy, surprise, surprise, as well as concerns the bill did not make enough considerations about the potential impact on children. It's always about the children.
Oh, remember the children.
Somebody
Yeah.
please help the children.
The full amended bill proposes to respect the right to privacy of an adult person to possess cannabis plant cultivation material, to cultivate a prescribed quantity of cannabis plants, to possess a prescribed quantity of cannabis, and to smoke and consume cannabis. Regulate the possession of cannabis plant cultivation material, the cultivation of cannabis plants, the possession of cannabis, and the smoking and consumption of cannabis by an adult person. Protect adults and children against the harms of cannabis, provide for the expungement of criminal records of persons convicted of possession or use of cannabis, and delete and amend provisions of certain laws. And so that's it. They're basically saying, yes, you can grow your own, you can smoke your own, you can do it at home. I'm assuming you can gift it to somebody as long as you're not no money is changing hands, but it still remains illegal. So there's not going to be any kind of legal framework for cannabis sales.
Yeah, the question I had
So-
on the gifting thing was, does it turn into a barter thing where, oh, you gave me the cannabis, so here I'm going to give you something else in return?
Well, I
And-
would say more power to you.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you're gonna
I have
barter,
nothing, no problem at all with that, but there are some states I know in the United States that are really against that part of it, you know, the whole barter
Really?
system. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if two people are bartering amongst each other, like you're not usually talking massive quantities of weed.
No, we're talking an ounce or
So-
two usually,
Right.
huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't see how that would contravene this particular legislation that they're bringing in.
Not at all.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's kind of interesting. It's not like total legalization, but you are now free to smoke weed at your house and grow it.
And
Mhm.
grow it, which is key.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would
Yeah,
like
man.
that. I would take that.
Oh, for
Heck yeah.
sure. And you know,
There's
and that's
there's
it.
one.
It-
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
Marco.
No, I was just gonna say there's one side that says, well, fuck that. Don't take none of that. Like, cause we should have it all. There shouldn't be a little bits and pieces and crumbs, but it's tough to be that hardcore when they're offering you that, a little piece, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's so many problems with legal cannabis in so many places sometimes that just being allowed to, like, being told by the government that yes, you are allowed to grow your own cannabis at your house, to me almost sometimes seems better, because even if you can't grow it yourself, you likely know somebody who can, and you could probably make a little arrangements or something.
You know,
Barter.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm just gonna walk down the road. You walk behind me, and I'll accidentally drop this little bag of weed here, and then you pick it up. And then you run ahead of me, and you accidentally drop the donation, and I find it. It's like, oops.
Now, of course, this article doesn't say how much you can grow.
Mhm.
It didn't say anywhere how much you can grow, but
Which that's a good thing. I would say that means unlimited.
Right.
Right.
We won't ask. Don't
Somehow.
ask shit.
Don't ask, don't tell. Exactly.
right.
You're gonna have people in South Africa looting their gardens now while growing indoors. You're
Right.
smashing out the whole house, man.
Yeah, the house is behind that wall of cannabis over there. Yeah.
But you can grow good
Exactly.
cannabis outdoors in South Africa, right? You get good,
Yeah.
good
I'm
temperatures
assuming
down
they
there.
would get lots of sun and a good climate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some buddies down there that grow. Their stuff looks like they do well.
Nice.
Yeah, man. It's a good move. I thought that in South Africa it was already legalized to some extent, or at least decriminalized.
Doesn't
No?
sound like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's severe penalties for.
And I think it's one of those places where it just grows everywhere in the bush as well. It just grows out all
Right.
over the place, and it's
There's
easily
still
accessible.
places over there with dirt floors and shit, dude. So it's like if you're poor like that, really fuck the rules then. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Uh-huh.
What they're gonna do to you? Yeah, like you don't have anything
Yeah.
to take anyway, right?
Right.
That's right, man. Step in the right direction all the same. So
Yeah.
that's it.
That's
Just a small step, but it's getting there. It's
What
getting.
would
We
it
have
take-
a. Sorry, Marco. You go.
Could it ever be, you think, like we don't even have to talk about it? Like no country ever even talks about it because it's all just normal, or they always gonna keep their thumb on it, huh? What y'all think?
I think they're always going to have some kind of control over it, like they do with alcohol and tobacco. They're going to have some
I
kind of
got you,
control
yeah.
over it. I would like to see it come to the stage where it's like coffee,
Right.
because there's still some restrictions on coffee and other cannabis, caffeine related products. Like Red Bull and Monster Energy have to be over 16 in the UK to get these products. It should be similar to the caffeine is far worse than cannabis is. You take enough of you drink enough cups of coffee and it's gonna
That'll
kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, caffeine's interesting too. I've read that it's the most widely abused drug, for lack of a better word, in the entire world, and the only one we give children.
Well, the sugar is definitely the most, but sugar's not seen as a drug, but it is a fucking drug.
Right.
Because it's addictive as any drug or more.
And it changes your mood. When you have too much sugar or not enough. Sugar is definitely a drug, but because there's so many companies out there that profit from sugar, they just don't want you to see it as a drug now, do they? But it is a fucking drug, man. So, and probably more harmful than cannabis is as well. You can't have cannabis.
No.
Right.
Some bullshit, man.
crazy.
But Monkey, you want to hit your, because you got another one here, and then I have one, so we still got another couple of articles to cover.
Yeah, no, this one's it's a long article, so we're going to go through parts of it now, and it's some kind of something that I've been looking at, and I've got a little grief on this one. I brought up a while back there was a study that came out that showed that if you looked at all Republicans and all Democrats, the one thing that they could all agree on is that we should look at rescheduling cannabis.
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
so
Man, that's like the only uniting thing in the States right now.
it was really the only thing. Nobody you couldn't get both the Republicans and Democrats to agree on legalization, but they both agreed to take a look at rescheduling it. So that was the only way that we could see forward. When I brought that article, I was like, okay, this might actually work. This is the way to go. I got a lot of hate mail for that one coming back through my Instagram on that one, because unfortunately the community looked at it and said, no, we want all or nothing. But right now what we're looking at in the States is possibly rescheduling. So let's take a look at that. Rescheduling could foster cannabis acceptance from healthcare industry. And that's one thing that I thought about when they talked about moving it from a 1 to a 3. It now becomes a medicine that all doctors have access to, and all doctors that can legally prescribe anything can prescribe cannabis at this point. And it would also require the AMA, if it's moved into a legal category, it would require the AMA to educate these doctors on how to use it properly. So it was interesting there. So moving cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 under the Controlled Substances Act could influence whether and how doctors recommend medical cannabis. It could also have important ramifications for persuading insurance companies to pay for medical cannabis treatments for medical patients. Currently, doctors do not prescribe state-regulated medical cannabis because they risk losing their licenses for prescribing something that is not approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. That would not change if the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency reschedules, well, that would not change if the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration reschedules cannabis. Doctors would still be barred from prescribing state-regulated cannabis products. Doctors, however, continue the recommended state-regulated, non-FDA approved marijuana products they can recommend it, but they can't prescribe it. So what they're basically saying here is that if it happened tomorrow and the federal government would legalize or move it to a Schedule 3 from a Schedule 1, that doctors still wouldn't have access to it because there is no federally approved cannabis drug on the market anywhere. Flower is not approved, and a lot of other things like that. So basically,
is that because it's scheduled at Schedule 1, so there's no research been done?
Exactly. That's right. Exactly the loophole we fall into. We don't, I mean, they keep saying things like repeatability, formulation, stability. These are all things that they're looking for in a quote unquote drug. And everybody here that has ever grown any cannabis knows that I can grow the same cultivar, I can take clones, and I can grow it 2 different times, and it's going to be slightly different. And so I've always worried about the repeatability thing about the FDA. The FDA wants complete repeatability on every dose. And that's actually not something you get with plant-based medicines so much. So anyway, prescribing changes. If the DEA moves to schedule cannabis to Schedule 3, doctors would be allowed to prescribe FDA-approved cannabis medicine. That's because physicians currently are permitted to prescribe Schedule 3 products only if they have an FDA approval, such as Tylenol with codeine does. Assuming that they are new FDA-approved cannabis drugs, a licensed physician with proper DEA registration to prescribe controlled substances would be able to prescribe that drug, said Attorney Eric Berlin, who heads the U.S. and global cannabis practices and international law firm Dentons. In a state legal system, a physician is only recommending. This is from Lee Shera, a co-director from the University of Maryland's Graduate Studies in Medical Cannabis Program. Physicians prescribe and schedule 3 substances, so rescheduling would be a huge change. So what, Mackie? Excuse me?
It's just where they're saying in the state legal cannabis system, a physician is recommending.
Yes.
So I mean, I assume because it's federally illegal, they're not going to be able to get cannabis from the insurance companies.
That's exactly correct. And I know that the state I live in has a program Now, I can get what it's called, and I don't understand this because, the article saying it's not a prescription, it's a recommendation. But I have friends who have prescriptions and they go to the dispensary and pick up their prescription. It comes with a bottle with a prescription label on it and everything. So to say it's not a prescription is kind of confusing to me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Strange
there
one,
was
isn't
a pill, Marinol or something.
Yeah,
I thought that
Marinol,
was
yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
drug, I thought. But
Yeah, the Marinol, I did look that one up, and they claim that the reason that one was approved back in the day was because that was synthetically produced pure THCA analog. So it was not one of those, it's not a naturally thing, and it's because it's essentially made in a laboratory. It can be reproduced all the time. Another one that can be prescribed right now that is legal is Epidiolex. And that's for usually for epileptic patients and people such as that usually use that. But those are the only two that are on the market. Epidiolex is actually the only one that's actually derived from the living cannabis plant at this point. So the other ones are just synthetics.
yeah, we don't want the
Because
synthetic derived shit because then you
No.
got basically spice, right? I mean, some bullshit.
Yeah, man.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the synthetic stuff's been on the market. I mean, what was it called? The spice, like you said, the spice, but we got so many different versions of spice and they all have some kind of a negative effect to them.
You know what my favorite version of spice is? The spice melange.
Okay, that's what he's going for.
It's South Park reference, everybody, if you don't know what the fuck we're talking about there.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to this article a little bit. It says encouraging marijuana knowledge. Okay, while rescheduling would not permit doctors to prescribe cannabis sold at state licensed dispensaries, Sarah is hopeful that rescheduling could warm skeptical physicians' attitudes toward cannabis. Acknowledging cannabis as a medicine is a big step toward reducing the stigma associated with cannabis. Whether that means that physicians and other prescribers will be more comfortable recommending non-FDA approved cannabis products, we don't know. But I do know if that happens, it will mean that prescribers will be more comfortable talking to patients about cannabis and the potential benefits and potential risks of using it. See, that's something right now that we really need with doctors is patients need to be comfortable enough to talk to doctors about this stuff. I've taken and started talking to my doctors about it. The heck with it. It's one of these things. It's my life. It's what I'm doing. They need to know about it. But because it's illegal and because we all know that you could be thrown in jail, how many people are not telling their doctors that they're using this stuff? And it could have serious effects. It's
What did your
definitely
doctor say, Monkey? Because I'm one of those ones that still kind of hadn't
well,
crossed that path yet with the doc.
I got advice from Dr. Peter Grinspoon. He basically, because of the HIPAA laws out there, the doctor can't discuss my medical with anybody.
All
And
right.
one of those things. So he basically says I needed to talk to my doctor. So I did divulge to the doctor that I'm using cannabis for pain. Let's just say face went blank. They left the room, came back, and I haven't been called by him for a checkup or anything else since. I can still go back and do things, but they no longer want to really deal with me too much because they don't know anything about cannabis, and they also know that the AMA doesn't want them to do anything with cannabis right now. So they're afraid of the AMA and backlash on the practice. So they basically gave me the phone number of a doctor who does cannabis. That's what they did. But I still have a
Okay.
doctor. But I still tell them every time I go in there that I'm taking cannabis. Is this going to interfere with the medicine that you're telling me about?
Right.
One of those deals.
This is cannabis. You want to hit some of this shit with me, Doc?
Well, exactly. And I'm not. I don't have. I'm not taking any medicine, which is cool. So really,
Well, I don't either. And that's just it. When I have to take medicine, it's usually something just for a short term. It's like a little bit of something here to get over this or that and the other. But it's just a standard practice. I always tell the doctor everything I'm taking. So I've taken it on because of Dr. Grinspoon's advice. I've taken it on and just basically said, no, it's fine. I'll tell you anything you want to know. And so far, I haven't had any legal troubles with it other than the doctors basically saying, we don't know anything about that.
Right. My dad, well, the VA is, his doctor. Now that it's legal in Virginia, they don't care, so they're open with it now, and they don't test anymore. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
My doctor, I got a vibe that she's cool because we kind of talked about it before. So I probably will maybe mention it to her this year and go from there a little bit.
It's always best
Yeah.
to. We recommend everybody does it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to take it into your own consideration what your doctor's going to be like and how they're going to react. But there's some medicines that they do work differently if you got cannabis in your system. So your doctor needs to know that. You know, Marge said before, and she's read it somewhere, and I'm sure I have as well. Any medicine where you can't have grapefruit, you shouldn't be consuming CBD cannabis with.
Mm.
'Cause, so you know, it's just best to make sure when it comes to medical stuff. You know, it's like they say you can have 1,000 problems until you have one health problem, and then you only have one problem. You know, so take care
Right.
of your fucking health, man. Just be careful with it. Make sure your doctor knows what's going on, and don't feel like you need to miss anything out. And there's so many people who are put at risk because of these ridiculous laws that we have in place that makes people think they can't speak to their doctor about this stuff. It's shocking. man.
Well,
Yeah, and
It's
you got to also just take it case by case too, because like, hey, when your health is good, there's nothing to really talk about, either way. So it's when shit goes wrong, like you said, if they start prescribing you stuff, then you gotta not, kind of definitely let that be known.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you see that was how this whole thing with me, I kind of took it as a blessing when the doctor started leaving me alone because I don't know, it seems like these days the doctors like to keep you on at least one prescription because that's a guarantee they can have a return visit from you constantly.
They'd
So
like
they can
to.
keep that cash flow. But they have stopped recommending things for me to take because, well, I guess the cannabis is, they don't know anything about that. So they leave me alone now. I like it. I like that part
And
of it.
that's cool because that means you're healthy too. It's not like they're leaving you alone and letting you just rot away and die,
No, I mean, there's
Obviously you're healthy.
any other time that I've gone in and had to be routinely checked for things like blood pressure and routine kind of stuff like that, it's always comes out normal. So I have no reason to even be worried about it.
Mhm.
Why would I have to go back to this specific doctor who's not comfortable with cannabis?
Well, because you're
and have her-
consuming cannabis,
him-
it's best to go back and just check that you don't have psychosis, because that
Go back and
happens
say, "Hey."
apparently. Yeah, all that psychosis we're all riddled with as cannabis users.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If I go back and ask about the psychosis, they'll probably think I have psychosis, right?
You know, it's like, when does this psychosis kick in, Doc? You know, I've been waiting for
Right.
50 fucking years. You know?
Well, so basically, this article is going on and on about if we move cannabis to a Schedule 3 from a Schedule 1, what it's going to do is the government's going to have to fess up about the quote unquote stigma that cannabis is. About this whole thing about one injection of cannabis will make you crazy kind of crap that they pull all the time like that. But yeah, they'll have to fess up that it's actually a good medicine and a real medicine if it's rescheduled to a 3. I'm wondering how the government's going to eat crow. They don't do that very well.
Yep, they don't do that very well. We are sorry for the stigma we have caused over the last 50 years. And we
Exactly.
apologize to all of those innocent people which we locked up for non-violent crimes because they were in possession of this heavenly herb.
Mm-hmm. And all of the psychosis we warned you about, it really doesn't happen. We just, we kind of using that to manipulate your ideas.
They'll say it, but it's going to be like in 200 years' time when it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. You know?
Right.
Yeah. And the other good thing that's going to happen if it does get rescheduled, and again, this is probably in the States from a federal level, our best chance of having anything move on cannabis is to have it rescheduled on a federal level like that. But if it does, it automatically and the other part of it, again, like the article says, if you have a FDA approved medicine made from cannabis that can be prescribed, it just means that the insurance companies now have to buy you weed. So I would love that part of it,
Or subsidize you for growing your own.
Yeah. And there's a great little thing at the very end of it. The lady talked about she had a case where the medical savings account in a specific individual was at $550,000 a year. And this was because this person was on heavy opioids and other drugs. Okay, the MSA, they transitioned a person to medical cannabis and the MSA dropped to $100,000. And they added another $50,000 a year in it to help them buy the cannabis. So they basically went from costing this insurance company $550,000 a year, switched this patient off of these heavy drugs, put them on cannabis, and they're now paying $150,000 a year. So they're saving $400,000 a year by letting this person use a medicine that actually works.
And that
Nothing
goes to
wrong
the
with that.
shareholders.
Well,
Math
unfortunately, a
works.
lot of that does happen. Yeah, they're not selling $400,000 worth of drugs, though, right?
Yeah, well, they'll
Mhm.
just increase the price of the cannabis, so they're making as much money. They got a
Ugh.
lot of power over there.
Yeah, well, you see that we already know what happens there when you artificially inflate the price of cannabis. Then you get in a situation like we're at right now, where there's so much surplus in the market up there in legal areas like Canada and everything else, where they can't sell it because everybody thought it was going to be a gold mine, and it's
Uh-huh.
just cannabis. It's just cannabis.
And guess what? It don't last forever.
Right, I was
No,
just thinking it's perishable. They don't always
Right.
treat it like a perishable item.
Yeah.
no.
Mhm.
Nobody likes to go to the dispensary and buy old weed.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
It's peril stuff. But anyway, that's what you're going to be basically looking at if we move cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. Things will get better, but they won't be what we're looking for just yet.
What are those other drugs similar to on Schedule 3 over there?
Well, anything like Tylenol with codeine is a Schedule 3.
Codeine. Yeah.
Anything that you basically, I'm trying to think of. I don't have a
Ketamine is
schedule.
Schedule 3, right? Because I think that shocked me.
I do remember that.
Hmm.
Yes, ketamine was Schedule 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Marco? Oh, wow.
Everything good, good stuff. If it fucks you up,
Yeah.
Schedule 3.
That's right. I've smoked a lot of weed, man, and it's never put me in a ket hole,
Right. Damn.
Yeah. But we have one more which we could get to before we wrap this up here, because we have an interview this week with the lady who is in this article. I'll read through some of the article and then discuss the interview. But we have Chancellor urged to bring forward special fund for medical cannabis, and this is from the UK, as you may know. Conservative Natalie Al-Fiqi, I think is the way you pronounce this name, raised the issue as she told the Commons of a teenage constituent currently in hospital. A special fund to guarantee children can access medical cannabis for their conditions should be included in the autumn statement, MPs have heard. Because here in the UK, if anybody's not aware, we do have a medical cannabis program here in the UK, but it's privatized and people have to go and buy the cannabis medicine, and it costs an extortion amount of money, a couple of £1,000 per month for some families. There's only 3 people in the UK, as far as I know, it might have changed since then, but there's only 3 people in the UK who get cannabis medicine on the NHS, which means it's free. It's on the social health care rather than privatized care. But the majority of people who need it are on privatized care and have to pay a shitload of money for it, and it's expensive and they can't afford it. So this MP is saying that she would like to see a fund set up to help these people pay for their medicines.
Well, why did those 3 people crack the code?
Nobody knows, mate. We've spoke to all of them. We spoke to a couple of the people who do get it for medical use on the NHS as well, and it's just the government just has no fucking idea what they're doing over here.
They accidentally let 3 slip through, and then
it's just enough noise made in the media, probably. Let's keep these people quiet and give them what they want.
Probably not far from it, Marco. Yeah, they let a couple slip by and they got yelled at and don't do any more now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it says conservative Natalie Al-Fiqi pressed for the change as she raised the case of teenager Tegan Appleby from Kent, who is currently in hospital to manage her severe epilepsy. Miss Al-Fiqi, I hope I'm saying this name right now, I'm saying it so many times, MP for Dover, which is way south in the UK, said Tegan's mother Emma was heartbroken as she messaged to say her daughter now has to be kept in a medical state to manage 19 days of consecutive seizures. This is some bullshit, man. I'm just scrolling. Excuse me for a second. The Commons was told, this is like the House of Commons, where it's just part of the UK government system. The Commons was told the Department of Health has failed to arrange a meeting with Miss Al-Fiqi to discuss support for Tegan to access medical cannabis, despite the government agreeing to talk in June. The government lied? Oh, no, of course, they misled, because they don't lie, do they? Misled, yeah. Let's stick with the government misled these people. The Appleby family were in the news in 2019 after... God damn, I'm reading bad for this article, excuse me. The Appleby family were in the news in 2019 after the medical cannabis they brought back from the Netherlands was confiscated but later returned. medical cannabis was legalized in the UK in 2018, but NHS prescriptions are rare and some families have turned to costly private prescriptions. In 2020, it was reported the medication that helps Tegan costs £2,500 a month.
Damn.
Yeah, stupidness, man. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, they misspelled his name there. I'm sure that Hunt is supposed to have the C at the start with no H. Just saying. Will deliver the autumn statement on November 22nd, in which he will update MPs about the state of the economy. Bro, yeah, let's not say anything about the state of the economy, and can also make tax and spending announcements. So yeah,
That's
we have
like
these
a pound a month.
for what? Sorry.
2,500 bucks a month.
Yeah, that's a shitload of money a month, you know.
That's, it's 30K a year, man. That's a lot.
God damn.
It's a stupid amount of money, and the thing is, there's a cost of living crisis here in the UK, and probably around the USA as well. But here in the UK, it's showing, and lots of people are suffering. Everything's gone up, but the wages, you know, it's one of those things.
Yeah, here too.
So,
Yeah,
and
Everything is high. Boxing
the-
packages are smaller, but they cost more.
and the thing is with folks like this, with families like this, they're gonna have a severely ill child at home, and they can't go out to work. You know, maybe one parent could go out to work, and one parent's got to stay at home. And to make ends meet for an ordinary family who, you know, that doesn't have major health issues, to make ends meet is difficult anyway with both parents working. But to have one parent forced to stay at home and have one parent work, that's going to be a strain anyway. And also add 2,500 a month bill. That's more than some people's wages are altogether. So how can these families afford this? It's absolutely disgusting that families are put in this position, man.
That's
They're not
crazy.
supposed to afford it. They're not worried about that, man.
And you got growers out there that would help support folks.
Oh
like
yeah,
that
for sure.
for free.
It's
But I'm thinking, yeah.
but it's about making the medicine the same. You know, consistency is important with these conditions, and just different strains, different plants. You know, more THC, less THC, CBD. There's a fine balance in it. It needs to be a constant supply of accurate medicine, but the government are just fucking around all the time and not letting people have it. You know, the Billy Bonds in the chat is one of our listeners, regular listener, Billy is, and his missus, her son, has intractable epilepsy as well, and they're paying a ridiculous amount of money, and they could have lost the access to the medicine. Yeah, it's bad shit here in the UK. You know, just something so simple where they can pretty much change people's lives by giving them access to this medicine, but they just allow them to be charged £2,500 a month to keep their fucking kid alive, man. It's disgusting. Enrages me. It's you know, everything else aside, man. Legalization for recreational, for your back pain and all that shit. Let's just put all of that shit aside for now, and we'll come back to that. Let's make sure the kids have got access to the fucking medicine so they don't die. That seems like a really nice fucking thing to do. You
Priority
know,
one.
man, these fuckers, oh man. It winds me up because you just see the corruption in this country as well, and how much fucking money they're scooping off the top. You're trying to tell me you can't afford this shit, but how many billions have we sent to other countries for things we shouldn't be getting involved with this year? Just this year? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's bullshit,
Well,
man.
if you get rid of their taxes and the license fees, cannabis is not that expensive to produce.
No, it's not. Especially when you start using these natural methods. I understand you got to have that exact procedure, but to me, on that end, that's where the processing needs to tighten up. Like it should be able to, you should be able to grow any kind of cannabis, and they can pull out molecularly the part that we need. You would think for medicine. I'm just throwing shit out there. Maybe not.
Yeah, it should be able to do that. Extraction should be able to handle it, and then recombination per patient. But it shouldn't. This should not cost that kind of money. I mean, that's just all kickback going somewhere. I don't know where the heck that money's going.
Quote unquote research.
Oh.
So it says here, Tegan Appleby, my teenage constituent, is at the moment in intensive care, and this was written just a few days ago, so I assume it's still the same now. Still at the moment in intensive care across the road in the Evelina Children's Hospital. Miss Mordaunt, I will know from her questions and answers in June that it was an urgent matter for Tegan to have support from the government to have funding and access her medical cannabis she needs to manage her epilepsy. And many of the mothers we've had on the show, and the dads as well, we've had dads on the show too, they will tell you that it's like a light switch. You start giving them cannabis as a medicine to treat their epilepsy, even though they've tried everything else and nothing has worked. They move on to cannabis as a last resort, and it's like a light switch. The seizures either stop or reduce massively, from having 300 seizures a day to having 1 or 2 a week, because they're now on cannabis medicine. And the
That's
fact that the
crazy.
government, yeah, it's fucking mental, mate.
That's
And
good, man.
so what has probably happened here is Emma, the Tegan's mom is Emma Appleby, and she'll be joining us for an interview on Tuesday. So if you're Patreon, you'll be joining us live for that interview on Tuesday at 9 o'clock UK time. You know, standard show time. But Tegan's mom is gonna come and join us. We're gonna find out exactly what's been going on from her. So that's gonna be an interesting interview, man. And I'll get wound up in these interviews. It's just disgusting the injustice that people are suffering here, just trying to keep their kids alive. You know,
Yeah.
it rages me, man.
Well, I got a bro science kind of question. And it might sound crazy, but so just hypothetically, the kid, you have a child that's going through these seizures, right? And you don't have access to the processed medicine and things like that. Does cannabis smoke? I know this is illegal and all that, but does the smoke of cannabis help the epilepsy, or is it just the processing it down to the different types of THCs or CBDs?
I
I'm
can't
not-
answer that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Man.
I've
Would
always
you
heard of
ask
full
her that
spectrum.
hypothetical question? I'm curious to know that.
Yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
know
I've
that
always-
I
I've
know it
always heard
works.
from.
Well, go ahead, Marge. All you.
Just, I've always heard from like cannabis coaches and different people who are involved in like health when it comes to cannabis would suggest that full spectrum is always better than the isolated compounds.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that answers that or not. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily smoking it. They might use tinctures and oils
Right.
and stuff like that as well to
Edible.
ingest it that way. But
Mhm.
full spectrum, I've always heard, is always better than just isolated CBD or THC or whatever.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, we've
That's
had a
Mm.
Parkinson's patient that actually smoked on camera with us, and you could definitely see the twitches go away. He got calmer, the whole thing. So I don't know if it's like, I mean, it's Parkinson's, it's not epilepsy. I don't know if it's different, but
Mhm.
it did work for that.
I've seen
Mhm.
some of those videos. Those ones are so striking, and the difference in like just a few minutes too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because we've almost villainized the smoking part of it, and I
Mhm.
understand it, but in a way, but like when I was a kid, your mom would throw a towel over your head with steam and like a hot pot of steam steaming up, like like who's to say like doing that with cannabis couldn't help, like
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
we've limited a lot of what we do by just because what the government says, and
You know.
that's kind of sad in a way.
It is.
it
man.
is.
We don't even give things a chance because it's like it's so bad, so I don't know.
A lot of people in the chat too are saying tinctures and vaping inhalers are really good for epilepsy and other things like that.
Nice.
And vaping seems like it would be a little easier on the lungs than perhaps combustion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more
and I
doctors
always worry
appreciate
about the
that.
lungs too, man. I
Mhm.
do kind of worry about the lungs.
You know what I worry about? People smashing their heads and causing brain damage when they're in an epileptic seizure. Let's not worry
Well,
about
I
that
was
as well,
just
you know?
sorry. I was just talking more about
Yeah.
me, like
Oh,
concerning
for yourself? Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
Yeah, I just always think about the lungs. Yeah,
Man,
but
it's
yeah,
like,
for the kids, definitely, man, they gotta
yeah.
get it. Whatever,
Whatever
it takes.
fucking works, man. Whatever.
whatever works.
It's just scary, isn't it? God damn, man. I mean, we got Dust in the chat here. We'll quickly just read this out before we finish off the news here. Says, I'm in the exact same position. My daughter has a disease, neurological disorder called, I think that's Friedrich's ataxia. She's 25 and has been in a wheelchair for 15 years. It's progressive disease. And she takes RSO oil to help with the muscle contractions and that are severe these days. So that's behind the heart, so I can't see it. And that's in Florida. Okay. And the price is very steep to keep her comfortable. Shocking, man.
Yeah. RSOs are one that a lot of people are making that and have it to help people too. Access to it is a different thing now.
So yeah, we'll find out what's going on from Tegan's mother on Tuesday. So and then that interview will go out, so you'll all know what the score is as well.
Yeah.
But that's all the news we have for this week. That's everything covered there. That's all the news stories. But we have just a couple of pieces of forum news that we'll quickly cover before we go for a quick break and then come back for the grow guides. But we have the Patreon giveaway. So if you are a Patreon of the show, you are in a competition. You've already been entered. If you're a Patreon, you're already entered. And you got a chance of winning the HLG 700 Beast of a Grow Light Beast. So good luck to you all out there. If you haven't become a Patreon yet, it's really easy to do, and you can do it for as little as $4.20. So just head over to patreon.com/Percys Grow Room. You'll find us there, and you can just sign up. Nice and easy. There's different tiers, but you get entered into these competitions now and again. You get to join us for live streams when we have interviews as well. So check it out if you're not a patron. It's a good way to support the site. And then Marge is now the proud owner of a HLG 750. I think you got, Marge, right?
Yeah, I was just trying to think of which one I got. I think it had the word Diablo in the name though, so it sounds pretty
Ooh, I
wicked.
like that.
And I'm very excited. I'd be more excited if I wasn't moving soon and having to wait to set it up.
No, it just sits there and you look at it every day like, shit, come on.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited though.
Nice. Yeah, so congratulations on the new light, Marge. And congratulations to whoever wins this next competition. We give away a lot of HLG stuff. So quick thank you to HLG for being awesome sponsors as well.
Epic lights, man. Good stuff.
But I think that's it. Anything to add here? No, let's go to the
So.
outro then. Let's do it. Let's see how professional we can make this. Can we wrap this up in 2 minutes before the outro tune finishes so it stays quietly in the background? We will find out. Thank you for joining us, everybody. It's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed the news. If you have anything to say about any of those news articles, don't forget to post in the comments. We like to hear from you guys. But a quick thank you there to Marco for joining us for the news. Thanks for being here, bro. Do you want to have a quick shout out? Tell us where people can find more about your the streams you do and your website and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you can catch me on Instagram. You can catch me on Marco_is_growing, and also I got a cannabis page, cannabis_naturally, and then also Micros by Marco is a little website I have where I offer some my inputs and things like that.
Nice. Yeah, man. So there we go. So we're going to be talking to Marco. Sorry, Marco.
Also catch us on Wednesday, Brian and Marco show. You guys are friends of the show.
Of course.
Yeah, we go live 4 p.m. Wednesdays.
Nice. The same time this show starts. Same time. So, wherever you are in the world, if you listen to this, whatever time this started at, that's when Marco and Brian's show starts. So that's on Wednesdays. Check it out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So, catch us in like 5 minutes over on the other stream so we can talk about grow guides. Everybody, we're going to talk about raised beds. See you there. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.